member of the United Nations delegation here. Our colleagues from the Iranian delegation have a short prepared statement and will then welcome your questions, 2 or 3 questions probably on the record. So.
Right. The Islamic Republic of Iran is in Geneva today to discuss the creation of a peace settlement for the Syrian people. We are committed to ensuring peace and security in Syria, as well as safeguarding the legitimate interests of the Iranian people. In light of recent clashes between the Islamic State and the Syrian regime, between Homs and Palmyra, reaching a peace settlement is now more important than ever. We must, however, clarify that this is a Middle Eastern problem, which requires a Middle Eastern solution. Consequently, it is fundamental to our national interests that Iran remains a key player in the peace process. Having discussed the situation with our Russian allies, Iran can now announce its support of a proposed Russian-led intervention militarily in order to defeat ISIS in Syria, bringing order and stability to the legitimate regime. Following this, Iran, with the support of its international partners, will seek to oversee the rebuilding process of a broken nation. Iran would also like to draw attention to the stakeholders which are not represented in this peace process: members of NATO, the UN Security Council, other Gulf states, and other groups in Syria such as the Kurds, the rebel groups, and the regime of Assad. It is the concern of Iran that the US and Israel have not yet acknowledged the presence of these stakeholders. Furthermore, Israeli statements have not put the Syrian people first, instead seeking to further a long-standing political agenda. While the security of all participating states here must be maintained, the Geneva peace process should not be hijacked as a platform to further standing political gains. Thank you.
We have time for probably 3 questions. If you could identify yourself and the organisation you represent. Yes, sir.
Yes, Tobias Gold from the Revolutionary News. Iran at the same table with Israel and the United States. Is this the end of the Islamic Revolution? Are we talking to the great Satan and the legitimate Zionist entity on Palestinian land?
Would you like to respond to that, sir?
Sorry, could you repeat that question, please?
Is Iran engaging with with the United States and with Israel, the end of the Iranian Revolution? Are you telling us that the revolutionary project in Iran is over?
This is, again, we're here for peace and security for not just the Iranian people, but for the Syrian people also. It is not meant to be a huge conflict between Iran, Israel, or America. This is not meant to be at all any form of further destabilizing the situation in the Middle East. What we are searching for is a pragmatic solution at the peace conference in Geneva to solve not only the Syrian conflict, but also to face a common enemy, the Islamic State.
Did you have a comment to add to that, sir?
I think that at this moment of time, inflammatory sort of comments are not very helpful, as we are all united in pursuing peace for the Syrian people.
At the back, yes, sir.
Miles Wickstead from the BBC. This is a peace conference, and one of the things you just announced was that you and your colleagues from Russia are prepared to put military force into an intervention. Is the whole purpose of this not to reach a peaceful solution rather than a military one?
I think we can agree that Chapter 6 of the UN resolution, so far will not be working on the ground in Syria. The reality in the ground is actually much worse than we'd previously anticipated, and we will be needing to seek some form of military resolve to the situation. We see this as the only credible solution to bring a peace process to Syria.
I see a colleague here from the Israeli press agency, I think.
Yes, Frederick Salnis from the Israeli delegation. So could you please tell us what are the components that will go into an Iranian-led rebuilding process in Syria?
Yeah, of course. So what we have acknowledged is that Russia, who has already got military involvement in Syria at the moment, is best placed to lead a wider coalition effort in Syria. Iran, however, feels that as it is a Middle Eastern problem, in the longer term, we can demonstrate a bigger appetite to help with the rebuilding process. We have seen reports today that the estimated cost run into $15 billion over 3 years, and I think that we can, using these funds as a collective group of nation states, can use Iranian support regionally and locally to achieve that goal.
Yes, sir.
Kevin Abraham, Jerusalem Post. How can anyone believe that Iran is a sincere participant in these peace talks when since the Islamic Revolution you've denied the right of Israel to exist and have fomented and sponsored significant terrorist groups such as Hezbollah, which have threatened the very security of Israel and other nations?
How would you respond to that, sir?
I would say that at this moment, it's not, these conflicts have to be backed down. These sort of claims that we made before, right now the focus is back on the Islamic State, and right now they're not making any situation any better inside the Middle East. To bring back the past differences that we've had with Israel does not help the situation. We have to make a combined effort to fight against ISIS.
Thank you. I think there's one last comment over here.
Yeah, but what we've heard here is that Iran is ready to introduce more troops, more weapons into the conflict in Syria to make sure that whatever peace agreement might come on the table can be secured with Iranian weapons.
Well, that's a very powerful statement. You can have to conclude that?
I think that what everybody should understand very clearly is that while there is a potential for collaboration, the main actors which are causing a lot of concern for many of the states here is IS, who does not have a voice at the table, and I don't think will ever have the option to have a voice at the table. Consequently, it is not reasonable to accept that we can achieve that kind of goal without taking further action.
Thank you very much to you and your delegation. Look forward to working with you in the days and weeks ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.